Dr. Willie Parker, author of the book Moral Argument for Choice. Have you ever heard of him? Elephant Man Podcast Network, grown man conversations dealing with elephants in the room. It's your man, Moray DB. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell so you can know when new material is coming out. IG Elephant Man _ podcast, and on Facebook / Elephant Man Podcast, and on Twitter / Poster Boys. What's going on? You ever heard of this guy right here by the name of Dr. Willie Parker? We're going to talk about this guy today, Dr. Willie Parker. Man, I came across a show, this guy called Jesse Lee Peterson. It's pretty much comic relief for me, man. But I don't know if he's serious or what, but he's like a super ultra conservative black dude. Like, he got Candace Owens and a lot of those guys beat, man. But anyway, this show was very, very interesting that he had Dr. Willie Parker on there, and this guy is a pro-life guy, and it was kind of disturbing, man. It was really, really disturbing, some of the stuff that he was saying and the beliefs that he had. But I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna share this in a minute, but I'm gonna read his Wikipedia about Dr. Willie Parker. Oh, why is it didn't go in there? All right, it's in there. All right. A lot of sticking going on. Dr. Willie Parker is an American physician and sits on the board of institutions working in reproductive justice. Including as previous members of the board of director of physicians for reproductive health. He travels to Mississippi every month to the last clinic where women can go to receive abortions. He has been practicing as an OBGYN for over 20 years and has drawn acclaim from his book, Let's Work, A Moral Argument for Choice. And then he said these quote on NBC News back in 2017, I was not of the age of accountability during the civil rights movement. I was not born into slavery. I was not born during the labor rebellions in the 20s, Parker said in a recent interview. I'm a women's health provider, and my time. This is my time, and this is my responsibility. So I was just like, okay. So I found this little video of Jesse Lee Peterson. The rest of the stuff is very interesting, but just check this out, man. This video is. It's a trip, man, but I want to show the majority of it before we talk about it. Very, very tripped out. Check this out. I'm unmute the mic to say fair use. Fair use.
I've got a lot of family here, some of whom are here in the audience tonight. I also had my first abortion at the Seattle Planned Parenthood. Yay! Notice I said first. If I could Yelp review it, I totally would.
Yes, I had abortion in Seattle. Abortion is still one of the most divisive issues in America today. I have with me Dr. Willie Parker, an OBGYN specializing in abortions. He's also the author of Life's Work, A Moral Argument for Choice. Dr. Parker has been featured in Esquire, NPR, New York Times, Rolling Stone, Newsweek, and more. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
What made you decide, you know what, I'm going to do abortions?
Somebody once said, when you wrestle with your conscience and you lose, you actually win. The reality is that 1 in 3 women in this country by the time they're age 45 will have an abortion.
Amazing.
And it's the most common healthcare procedure that is offered. It's also one of the safest, but it's also one of the most controversial because it is a decision that is unique to women. my awareness as a physician of what happens to women when that care is not available convicted me around what it meant to be a woman's health care provider and to be a Christian, which ultimately led me to conclude that there was nothing doctrinally or specific about abortion in sacred texts, whichever one you're talking about, nor was there anything that prohibited women from having control of their lives and their bodies to make the same decisions that men are entitled to make as moral agents.
That's amazing. How is abortion a health care procedure?
So when a woman has a pregnancy that affects her health, or that she decides to end, if she doesn't have an opportunity to end it safely, anything that risks or ends that poses a risk to your health is a healthcare issue.
I mean, it's a healthcare issue for the baby, the unborn child, and that you're killing the baby.
Baby is a cultural term, it's not a scientific or medical term, and you're not a baby before you're born. Because of our laws, you're not entitled to block a woman from having an abortion, or you're not entitled to force a woman to agree with your
But aren't
definition.
you taking a life?
I disagree with you. I
But
understand what you're saying.
you are killing an unborn child, right?
I'm not killing an unborn child.
You're taking
I'm
the
ending
life
a
of an
pregnancy.
unborn child.
I'm ending a pregnancy.
But does that require you to take the life of the child that's in the woman's womb?
I don't define a pregnancy as a child, and I'm like I
Does
said,
it have a life? Is it a living?
it is a living entity. It is a
Right.
life. It
So
is a
you-
human being, because women don't have puppies.
So-
But it is not a baby. And if it were a baby, it would be a person.
So
Correct.
the reality
let me
is-
finish.
So the reality is you are taking a life.
So
is that true or not?
do you want to have a dialogue,
Yeah,
or
but-
do you want to let me answer your question, or do you want to answer my question?
Answer the question about are you taking a life?
Okay. Yes, an abortion ends a life. If you call the police, will they come and arrest me?
That still doesn't take away the fact that you're taking a life. Is it
That's how
possible
I
you could be
believe.
wrong now?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
Is it possible that you could be wrong?
No.
You can't imagine how you can possibly be wrong. And I question myself all the time. Voltaire
I
said
would if
that,
I were you.
I
Let me do this.
have you ever changed your mind about anything?
I have.
Okay.
That's why I'm glad that you're at least thinking about the way you feel about Christianity and abortion now and sin and all that, because you are wrong. And by you thinking about it, maybe you get back on the right track.
This isn't about, you didn't invite me. I'm here I came here at your invitation without knowing anything about who you are and what your agenda is. And I didn't come here to have you openly scrutinize what you think my moral compass is. If you want to talk about abortion, if you want to talk about the right of women, if you don't want to talk about that, we can end the interview. And I'm happy to have had this
ask
opportunity.
this and then we'll move on. Do you believe that there's good and evil?
I absolutely do.
You do, okay. And is it good to perform abortions or evil?
It's good to perform abortions when women seek them and they need them and they ask me to do it and I'm trained to do it and I provide it for them. Yes, it is
Is it
good to
good
provide
for the
women.
unborn child?
I don't know what an unborn child is. I know what a fetus is. I know what, when you give birth,
Is
you
it
become a
good
child.
or evil for
I know
the
how to end a
fetus?
person.
Is it good or evil for the fetus?
I don't relate to life in terms of absolute good and evil. So
Do you believe that there's good and evil?
I absolutely do.
You do, okay.
I don't relate to life in terms of absolute good and evil. So
Does it bother you that it might be evil to the fetus?
it doesn't bother me at all, because
Amazing.
a fetus can't be more important than the woman carrying it.
Get back to this. That's ridiculous.
Right. Okay. It's ridiculous because you don't agree with it. And that's fine. If that's your metric, everything I might say might be ridiculous to you, because maybe it's perplexing to you that people think for themselves.
No, it's not perplexing.
But it is.
And you're
because,
not thinking for yourself.
Okay. Well, I'm not thinking the way you think.
You are not thinking for yourself.
Well, I'll accept
One
that.
thing I know for sure,
Okay.
and without a doubt,
Uh-huh.
there's some things I'm not sure about, but the one thing I am sure about, you're not thinking for yourself.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
How many abortions have you performed in your career?
As many as necessary.
And how many is that?
What difference does it make if it's 1,000 or 100,000?
Well, you don't think that would make a difference?
Okay. What difference does it make?
Oh, let me ask, how many months do you do it at the 9th month if the woman wanted?
No, that's not legal.
Where do you, if it were legal, would you do it?
Well, I don't answer hypotheticals, because to talk about an unborn pregnancy as a baby is very inflammatory. Stages of development matter. If you say that a baby and a fetus are the same, it's like saying also an oak tree and an acorn are the same. Is it the same if you step on an acorn as you chop down a 100-year-old oak tree? It is not. And that's why,
First
as
of all,
a trained
you can't
physician,
compare an acorn to a baby,
well,
human being.
don't get lost in the analogy. That the
But
ability
that's
to
not
think in
very,
acrylic.
that's not very nice. So I want to know, once you pull this baby out of the womb,
I don't
after
pull
you
babies out of the womb.
after you kill the baby inside the
I
womb,
don't kill babies.
and you suck it out, however you get it
I
out.
remove pregnancies by standard medical techniques.
And when you
and
see
when
it,
at 12 weeks, that is a suction procedure.
and when you
now,
see that child, yes, when you see that child, does it bother you at all?
It doesn't bother me at all to end a pregnancy that a woman doesn't want, because the woman who comes to me is my patient.
The woman that's killing it, having her child killed in her womb, does she give that child life?
Nobody gives anybody life. Life is a process. We all participate in the process of reproduction.
So she doesn't give life. What gives her the right to take a life?
Okay, nobody gave her life. She can't give life. We all are
so
here.
So what gives her the right to take a life?
Well, you know.
So
is there any process, if you wanted to have your gallbladder taken out, would anybody question you? Do you have to get anybody's permission to have anything done in your body?
A gallbladder and a baby is not the same.
Well, a gallbladder is in your body and a fetus is in her body.
I'm making the choice about the gallbladder, or the gallbladder has some problems in making the choice.
And women do the same thing about pregnancies.
A woman who kills her children on the inside is making a decision about another human being's life.
I'm not gonna argue with you. If you want to have I've never walked out of an interview, but if you want to have a meaningful conversation, ask me some meaningful questions. Otherwise, this interview is over.
But I thought the whole conversation has been meaningful so far.
No, because I haven't really. You haven't asked. You have asked me questions that prompted me to answer in a certain way, and then you've offered your critique. Everything has been about what your impression of about who I am and what I do.
You asked me.
Right. I ask you because I'm still trying to figure out what the point of this is. Okay, I don't complain because I have the power of exit. I can walk out here any moment that I want.
Let me ask.
I'm indulging you.
You are the physician plaintiff in a federal lawsuit preventing the closing of a Mississippi-only abortion clinic.
Correct.
Is that true? You know, I went down to Mississippi and protested that clinic. We've been fighting to get that clinic closed for a long time.
That's important. That's unfortunate.
It's going to happen.
Because you're indifferent to what that means to the women, right?
I'm sorry?
There are actually 7 states where there's only one clinic. You're going to go to each state to protest where there's one clinic left?
Don't give me an idea. Should the father have a say-so about his child?
Should the father have the say-so over a process that's going on in a woman's body? No.
Is that his child in the woman's body?
A pregnancy, when a woman is carrying a pregnancy, whoever she decides the paternity is related to, and if they have the kind of relationship where she wants to have that, a woman doesn't have to relinquish control of her body to anyone.
Is that his child inside of her body?
I guess it depends on what state you're in, right?
Is that his child inside the woman's body?
Yeah, no, because a woman doesn't have property.
You didn't really say no.
No, it's not his child. It's if they continue that pregnancy,
well,
give
how
birth,
is it her
it's
child
their
then?
child, right?
How is it her child?
When she gives birth. Well, as I said to you, when
you really said no, it's not his child.
It's not as a property as he has some claim.
You put
over
all
this
that
woman's
extra
body.
stuff onto it.
Okay.
You just said no, it's not his child.
It's not his child. It's their
Whose
child.
child is it?
It's their child if they have a joint enterprise, right?
Should he have a say-so in that?
Not unless he can take all the risks that go with continuing a pregnancy. No.
It's amazing, man.
Okay. Yeah, that can be amazing when you hear that other people can think too.
So you believe you're thinking? Does it bother you that every day between 1,200 to 1,500 black babies are aborted every day?
It doesn't, because I don't
bother you
abort
either?
babies. No, it doesn't.
So as a doctor, did you make more money before you start performing abortions or after you start
What
to
difference would
perform
it make?
abortion?
I'm a board-certified obstetrician gynecologist.
Do you make more money?
What's your point?
Do you make more money? Did you start making more money before you started to perform
I make
abortion,
more money
after?
I make more money. I make less money than I could make. I make enough money to take care of myself. But
So
What difference does it make?
Did you start making more money after you started to
What
perform
difference
abortion?
does it make how much money I make?
It's important because that might be your motivation.
Well, whatever my motivation is, if I get paid for the services I provide, I'm entitled to get paid.
So when did you start making more money? Making money
why
before
does that matter?
After?
I'm a private citizen. I don't have to answer to you about what my finances are.
How
much money do you make?
I didn't ask you how much. I asked you when did you
tell me.
When did you start making more money? After you started performing abortions or after?
Tell me how much you make and I'll tell you. If you tell me how much you make and then I can tell you, because I know what I was making before and after. If you tell me how much you make, I can tell you I was making more money than you do before or after. So that's my answer to you.
Let me ask, what is a man?
What is it?
Yeah, what is a man?
What is a man?
You don't know?
Do you?
Do you know what a man is?
Are you one?
Do you know what a man is?
Are you a man?
Is that your responsibility?
Are you a man?
So that's your responsibility?
I'm asking you. You answer me, then I'll answer you.
No, I'm asking you, what is a man?
Are you a man?
So what is love?
What is a man?
What is love?
What is it?
What are you doing? You're not going to answer the question.
I'll answer your question.
You're my guy. You're the expert. You're the doctor. You're supposed to be answering these questions.
Well, if you tell me you tell me what a man is, and then I can tell you whether I believe that a man is what you think it is or whether it's not.
Do you know what it is?
I do.
What is it?
What is tell me your definition. I'll tell you if I agree with you.
You're not going to answer that because we're running out of time and you're wasting my time. So you don't know what a man is?
I do.
What is a man?
What kind of test is this? What is a man? What is a man?
Apparently you don't know what a man is. So let me ask.
Okay.
Do you love Black people?
I love all people.
And what is love?
What is love?
Are you not going to answer that either?
Well, see, you're asking me rhetorical questions, and I'm returning your rhetorical question, and then you don't like a rhetorical question, but you want me to answer one.
Do you love the unborn child?
I love people.
How about the unborn child?
Unborn children aren't people. I don't know what an unborn child is. I know what a fetus is. I know what a pregnancy is, but I don't know what
fetus.
I love women and their pregnancies. If a woman's carrying a fetus and she wants to continue it, I love and will support her ability to support that. If a woman's pregnant and is carrying a fetus and she no longer wishes to carry that pregnancy, I love her enough to help her accomplish her goal safely.
Amazing. This past June.
But let me ask you a question. How can you say you love a pregnancy more than you love the woman carrying it?
I love both.
Okay. So when it's not in the best interest of a woman to continue a pregnancy, how can you prioritize the fetus over the woman who's carrying the pregnancy?
Because the child should have a chance to live.
What about a female child who's carrying a child? Does a woman have a right to thrive?
She has a right, and so does the unborn child.
Okay. And so when those interests are competing, whose interests
They're
are
not
important?
competing.
Are you a doctor? Are you a doctor?
Only in the ego mind of the selfish woman that want to kill the child. You don't have to be a doctor to know that, man. This past June, you were interviewed as part of a.
Wow, man, this place. Man, we gotta pray, man. And you know what? It's kind of crazy because usually, like I said, Jesse Lee Peterson, he has me laughing, man. That's my comic relief, man. He be on there, he just be on there tripping, man. But on this, it looked like he was really bothered by Dr. Willie Parker, and Dr. Willie Parker is out in left field. We know he's motivated by money, and he keeps having to remind himself that he's a certified OBGY doctor on the board, but you know, to go do these provide these abortions in Mississippi, the poorest state in the union, and you know who he going, what areas he going to, and you know, a lot of times when we see us coming, but I mean by true Israel coming, or the quote unquote Black people coming, then we kind of let our guards down and trust a little bit more. You know what I mean? And this is a sad thing, man. You know, I'm a woman's health care provider. He had to rehearse that in his mind. He also always said he's not taking a life, he's ending the pregnancy. I don't know what that means. I'm not taking a life, I'm ending a pregnancy. So I guess he think it's not a baby at conception. So I don't know. You know, and that's crazy. Between 1,200 to 1,500 babies are aborted. the shedding of innocent blood. You know, and we're not here to judge or beat nobody down, but we're here to pray, man. We're here to fast, and we're here to. It's unheard of, you know. And even he was on that board. He was on the panel at the beginning, and it's like, I got my first abortion in Seattle, yay! And they clapping, and we just don't respect life. I say we, I'm talking about the human race. We don't respect life. And we are all made in the image and the likeness of the Most High. And it's funny how people are, you know, we know it's some complications sometimes, you know what I mean? Or a person can get physically raped, you know what I mean? But that's not always the case. Sometimes it's consensual, and then it's like, oh, I can't have a baby because I'm one of the ABCXYZ. And so then you say, oh, it's just a blob, and you get rid of it. And if you're listening to the sound of my voice and you had one, you know, just we're not trying to bring condemnation, but we're just saying, pray to the Most High, covered in the blood of Yahusha, and move on. And you know, he said, go. You know, Yahusha, many times he's dealing with people. He said, go and sin no more. And so I just couldn't believe it. But I think the main thing, in order to go into our communities, it had to be one that looked like us. And like Taylor always say, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. But it's very, very sad. You know, it's usually, like I said, if you go to Jesse Lee Peterson's show, I'm not trying to promote his show, he be cooning on there real hard, man, for the Republicans. And you're not a coon because you're Republican, but if you go and see some of his content, you'll see what I'm talking about. My man is crazy. But it just seemed like he just got real serious and was asking us some questions, what was going on with it. So it's only like a few minutes left for this. It's only 4 minutes left. I want to play 4 more minutes on this. Let me know what y'all think about this video, man. It's wild, man. You know, that somebody would feel that way. But I'm gonna play the last 4 minutes of this video, and then we're gonna get out of here.
Shout Out to Abortion is an effort by women to reject the stigma and shame that people who feel like they are able to tell women what to do with their bodies, and that because they can't physically prohibit them, that they try and shame them away from making their own decisions. They've decided to not stand in the shadows, just like gay people have decided not to hide their being gay anymore.
And so they're trying to take the shame out of killing the unborn child.
Well, you can frame it however you want.
I was down at a slut walk down in Los Angeles last Sunday, and they're trying to take the shame out of being sluts.
Okay. Well,
why do they want to take the shame out of it?
They want to take the shame out of being sluts the same way people try to take the sting out of folk calling them niggers, right?
Amazing.
Amazing. What's so amazing about people when people call you names beyond your, when people call you names that are intended to disparage or to embarrass or to harm you, when you can't change your name, maybe you can change the meaning of the word. And so maybe
people
they are
calling you a name and having an abortion or being want to be perceived as a slut is not the same thing. But I saw a video of you there, and you were on stage with an actress by the name of Martha Plimpton, and she was cheering on, yes, I had an abortion in Seattle. Yep. And you're not the only place I've had this abortion.
Yep.
And she said she wanted to Yelp review of her abortion. What was going through your mind?
She's a comedian, and
when this woman was sitting there celebrating killing her unborn children?
What was going through my mind was she was telling people who think like you that I don't really care what you think of me. And then the same way that Black people had to tell white people when they called us niggers, and they said that, you know, somebody with your color skin can't become a physician. She was telling them, I don't really care what you think about me. And I support anybody who finds enough self-dignity and self-love to say to folk who judge and to stigmatize and to shame them that I don't really care what you think about me.
You're judging the people who disagree with you about what you're doing.
No, I don't know. I don't.
Yes,
judge.
you are. You're judging them.
Well, no.
Well, yes.
I came on your show in good faith. I didn't Google you. I don't know anything about you. I walked into a situation where I didn't know that you were going to be hostile, or I thought this was going to be.
I'm not being hostile.
I thought this was going to be.
You don't want to hostile.
Well, no, I'm being
threatening to leave. And carrying on.
Well, no, the reason I threatened to leave, I threatened to leave because I don't have to
hostile. Let me ask. You received that Margaret Sanger Award from Planned Parenthood. Is that right?
Did.
Amazing.
What's amazing about that?
Because Planned Parenthood is wicked to the core.
Okay.
They sold the unborn child body parts for profit. Are you okay with that?
It's a shame that you are sitting here.
Are you okay with that?
Repeating falsehoods. I'm not respectfully. I'm not calling you a liar, but you're repeating lies. You're repeating lies. Everything about those videos that were workshopped and created have been debunked. The people who made them are about to go to jail, and somehow you, as a journalist and as a published author, I would give you
been debunked. That's not true. Tell the truth, man.
Well, it's been debunked.
You're not telling the truth. That's why you're looking down at the floor.
Well, I'm looking down because I'm thinking,
because
and
you don't want me to see you're not telling the truth.
I'm telling the truth. I can
that
look
has
you
not been debunked.
Yeah. Well, how many Planned Parenthoods have been closed?
No, why are you saying that it is not true?
I'm saying that not one Planned Parenthood has been closed, despite all of the government scrutiny where they went in and checked and looked.
Wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Got to pray for Dr. Parker. Dr. Willie Parker came out with a book. I ain't going to even say the book. It's just crazy, man. And then he got the Margaret Sanger Award, and he's happy about it. The Margaret Sanger Award. And then denying all the things that was talked about with Margaret Sanger, all the things that is historically known about with the things of Margaret Sanger. It's just unreal. It's just unreal. Man, how about y'all in the name of Yahushua? You said, if I be lifted up, I'll draw men unto me. We worship you, we honor you, we adore you. There's none like you in the heavens and the earth. And we just ask you, we repent as a nation, as a whole, Abba Yah, for disrespecting you, for not embracing your truth, for not embracing your will and the way that you have things set up, Abba Yah. We're sick, we're hurting, we're all over the place, and we ask you to, as a group, Abba Yah, to just bless us and clothe us in our right mind and wash us with your blood and bless our mind, will, and emotions to be on one accord with you. So yeah, that's very, very interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. Oh, second Exodus. But this the brother, Dr. Parker. My God, my body, my decision. And he's saying he's a believer in Yahushua, believer in the Messiah. And it's just a new day. The definitions and the boundaries, and it's just a different time we're living in, guys. So stay on the wall, continue to pray, continue to fast, continue to focus, and we gonna let Mashiach handle his business and straighten everything out. Elephant Man Podcast Network, Grown Man Conversation, dealing with elephants in the room. I am out. Shalom. Perfect. Perfect.